Hello lovely people, I'm Sarah and today I am going to show you how to make, I'd call it a fruit loaf, but it's officially called a Sultana loaf. It's a recipe that I got off my mother-in-law, who does not wish to be named apparently, but apparently it's also a recipe that my husband's nan used to make. So I love this. I love like passed down recipes and that sort of thing. Apologies I didn't do a video last week, but we were up at their dairy farm on the North Island. We went to field days. Cameron, Charlotte, Tracy, Ivan, Teresa. Awesome week with you guys. But anyway, we'll get on with this recipe. This is going to make 2 loaves. So obviously if you just want to make one, half the recipe. And I'm also going to show you a little trick that she showed me. With how not to get it to dip in the middle as it's cooking. So I'm just trying this for the first time. I'm going to do one with this wee trick and one without, just to compare. I'm going to get a pan, put it on the stove top. So we've got 500 grams of sultanas, but of course you could use raisins, you could substitute any other kind of dried fruit I suppose. 2 tablespoons of butter, or cheap table spread, if budget doesn't stretch to butter. 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, a pinch of salt, and about a tablespoon of golden syrup. Heat that up, give it a stir, and we're going to let all that boil together for about 5 minutes. Okay, so once that is boiled, you want to leave it to cool completely. If you don't want to dirty another bowl, then absolutely just add the rest of the ingredients directly into here. I'm actually not using my biggest pot and I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough room without spilling everything. So I'm actually going to add my dry ingredients into another bowl and then pour this in and mix it up. I'm going to add into here 3 cups of flour, and of course when it comes to spices and stuff, it'll be adaptable, it'll taste of whatever you put in it. But I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon, so maybe 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. Is it just me, or does this remind me of Christmas, the smell of cloves? Because I remember at my primary school when I was a kid, pretty much every year, for reasons that were lost on me at the time, we always used to stick cloves into oranges. What was it with that? Was that just my school? Every single year we'd get an orange and we'd stick cloves in it. And I think it was just because of the smell. And I don't know that my mum ever did anything with it. And I think half the time it came home in my bag and potentially stayed there for a few weeks. Anywho, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and completely optional, the original recipe doesn't call for walnuts, but my mummy-in-law added them and they were awesome in it, so I'm going to chuck some walnuts in. Just going to eyeball it on measure. I'll put like a cup in. I want 2 cups. I'm going to go 2 cups of walnuts. Oops, just dropped some in there. I may be over walnutting, I'm not sure. We'll just see. I'm thinking a cup per, a cup per loaf. Right, so I'll mix all the dry ingredients together. Then I'm going to pour that yummy liquidy raisin mixture. Mix that together well. The I did say I'm very well known for not following my own instructions or recipes instructions. I did say to let that cool completely. It is still a little bit warm, but I've got a lot to do this afternoon and I'm running out of time. So you're just you're just going to have to put up with me. Wednesdays is one of those crazy days where the kids have got all sorts going on after school. I've got taekwondo, one's got band practice, there's community night, there's all sorts happening. So try and be fairly organised on a Wednesday. So I'm going to get 2 loaf tins. So these are sort of similar sizes, they're both slightly different-ish. Apparently putting baking paper is the best idea. Divvy this out as evenly as I can. In order to get these not to sink down in the middle, here's what you do. I'm only going to do it to one of them. I'm doing a bit of a test here. So, I'm going to run this under the tap, damp tea towel, completely wrap it. So I think I might need 2 tea towels. So I'll do 2. Completely wrap around the outside of it, just like that, in the oven. It goes against everything that I think is logical to put a tea towel in the oven, but my mummy-in-law said it worked, and it's not the first time I've heard of doing that. Just that the first time I thought, I'm not putting a tea towel in the oven, that sounds ridiculous. But I've been assured it works. So we'll see how that goes. See if one concaves and one doesn't. I'll almost be disappointed if it doesn't work that way. There we go. Completely wrapped in tea towels. And one without. Oh, wish me luck. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so the results are in. Didn't come out exactly as I thought. I mean, they both came out really good. The one that did not have the tea towel around it did not sink in at all. So that experiment was, I won't say it was a fail, but it's just something to, I guess it's a little trick to consider if you do have some of these slices that dip in the middle, give it a go. Obviously for me, this one does not dip. Hey, that's fine. Now this one did take about 5 minutes longer in the oven before it was done. I think just because it's a bit more sort of thinner and therefore higher. So I'm going to cut into these, have a taste test. They're smelling so good. Yeah, look at that. It's quite fall aparty. I think because I think it would have worked better if I'd actually chopped the walnuts, or if I'd used chopped walnuts. I used the whole half ones, and some of them actually held on to little, not sure if you can see, little pockets of the flour. And I think I actually should have left that in the oven a bit longer. A little bit of it's come off on the bottom there. I'm going to cut into the other one to see what that's like. Oh, okay, very, very fall aparty. Okay, maybe I should have cooked that one for a bit longer. Alright, lessons learned. Lessons learned. That's alright. I keep it real around here. Oh, that's much better. That is much better. Okay, so the slightly thicker one, maybe I should have kept it in for an extra 5-10 minutes. It's still going to get eaten. It just won't be the lovely picture that I use for the thumbnail, maybe. But yeah, again, I'm actually just going to say, if you're adding walnuts, I would add that after you've mixed everything else together, because there are little pockets of flour that have just stuck to the inside of the walnut halves. It would be rude if I didn't taste test. I think a bit of butter. That is beautiful. For me, that is just the right amount of spice. The sultanas, the sultanas, of course, are yummy. The walnuts just make it. I love walnuts and stuff like this. It just adds a nice bit of nutty texture. As I say, the top's just got that very slight sort of firm texture to it. Lovely and soft in the middle. I dread to think how quickly we're going to hoe through these. Doesn't matter that one was slightly undercooked. So your lessons learned. I don't think I actually said you put it in the oven. Sorry. Cooking instructions, 180 degrees for about an hour. After an hour, this one, the more sort of slightly wider one, that was done. I put a skewer into the other one and it wasn't quite done yet. So I left it for another 5 minutes and then I left it to cool in the pan. I think it maybe could have done with another 5, even 10 minutes. That's fine, it's still gonna get eaten. Thank you, Mummy-in-law, for the recipe. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and we will see you next week. Bye.